Nothing is permanent. Impermanence is the sacred law of life. Perhaps in your loneliest moments, when your heart is broken and your mind is in turmoil like a storm in the midnight darkness, you have asked yourself, how long will this pain last? Will I ever escape this fog of suffering? That is a sincere and deeply human question, but in the light of the Buddha's wisdom, we realize an unchanging truth. Everything will pass. Impermanence is not just a philosophical doctrine. It is the very breath of the universe. It is the silent shift of every breeze, every wave, every emotion inside your heart. Just like sunlight rises after a long, dark night, the pain within you, no matter how deep, is only a fleeting cloud in the vast sky of consciousness. When you understand this, a gentle relief begins to bloom. You no longer need to brace yourself against emotions, nor run from pain. Instead, you simply need to sit still and observe. Observe the sadness as it comes and goes, like a guest passing briefly through the room of your soul. The Buddha once said, "Just as the lotus rises from the mud, human consciousness can rise above suffering, if we realize that suffering is only temporary. In this very moment, even if you are collapsing, you are also transforming. Each tear that falls is a step in your transformation. And you, whether you realize it or not, are moving closer to a stronger, more awakened version of yourself. So if you are at the lowest point of sorrow, light a gentle flame of trust. Everything will pass. Nothing lasts forever, not even pain. And within that impermanence lies the sacred chance for you to begin again, with clear eyes, with a more open heart. Accept your pain, the origin of true healing. In this life, there are pains that have no name. They have no clear form, but we feel their weight in our chest. A kind of silent wound of the soul where the heart feels dried up, yet inside there is a stream of tears that has never been shed. We silently carry it through the days, trying to live as if we are strong, but inside we are breaking piece by piece. People often fear pain. They do everything to avoid it, with fake laughter, endless distractions, or staying so busy that they have no time left to feel. But the Buddha does not. He taught, what you resist persists. Only when we stop and have the courage to sit with our own pain does the miracle begin. Pain, when faced directly, ceases to be the enemy. It becomes part of the healing journey. Like a forgotten child in a dark corner, pain only needs to be heard, to be accepted, and that is enough. Try saying to your sorrow just once, I see you. I know you are here. I no longer want to push you away. Sit down and tell me your story. In that very moment, you have taken a powerful step toward freedom. Acceptance does not mean surrender. It is the opening of the heart to allow the truth to enter. And the truth is, you have been hurt. You are hurting, but you are not imprisoned by it. Every wound is a message from your inner self, calling you to return home, where you don't have to hide, don't have to be strong, just be honest. As the Buddha taught, if you can feel it, you can heal it. Do not be afraid of tears. Do not fear being broken. It is from there that a new kind of strength is born, not a hard, rigid strength, but the gentle resilience of a soul that has learned to embrace its wounds with compassion. Self-love is the greatest foundation of healing. On the journey to find love and acceptance, we often look toward others. We hope someone will understand us, someone will stay, someone will fill the void inside our soul. But the deeper we go down that path, the more easily we are disappointed. A cold glance, a careless word, or a sudden departure is enough to make us feel unworthy, not good enough, undeserving of love. The Buddha once said something deeply profound. You can search throughout the entire universe for someone who is more deserving of your love and affection than yourself, and that person does not exist. Indeed, everything you crave, attention, gratitude, emotional support can arise from within you if you learn to love yourself. Self-love is not selfishness. It is a form of mindfulness and gratitude for your own existence. It is when you look into the mirror each morning and smile, whispering, "I love you. No matter what today brings, you still deserve gentleness." It is when you stumble and instead of cursing yourself, you gently say, "It's okay. I'm learning." You don't need to become someone else to be worthy. You don't need to be perfect to be loved. When you see your own completeness, the outside world no longer shakes you so deeply. Praise, criticism, others' opinions, all become lighter because you have found an inexhaustible spring of love within your own heart. When you love yourself, you no longer fear loneliness because sitting with yourself becomes a sacred encounter. You stop comparing, stop needing others to make you happy because you know true happiness comes from within. And once you give yourself that unconditional love, you become invincible in the face of life's storms, because the greatest love always begins with accepting yourself, in every state, in every moment, both in beauty and brokenness. Sit in silence and look within, the gateway to profound healing. In today's world, we live in a constant storm of noise. Noise from work, from phones, from relationships, from countless things to do. But there is a kind of noise even deeper, the echo within our own mind, where thoughts endlessly chase the past and the future, leaving the present moment forgotten. Yet the paradox is this: it is in silence that you hear the most important thing, the voice of your soul. The Buddha taught, a quiet mind is a powerful mind. Not because it is tough, but because it is clear like still water, reflecting truth just as it is. When you stop, do nothing, don't try to control anything, and simply sit and breathe with yourself, something magical begins to happen. You start to feel yourself again. At first, silence can feel uncomfortable. Buried pain will surface. Worries, fears, and old wounds may come flooding in like ghosts in the night. But don't push them away. Let them appear. Look at them with compassion, without judgment. Because it is right there, in the very place you fear to touch, that healing begins to sprout. Silence is not emptiness. It is a sacred space where your mind is washed clean of noise, so you can hear a gentle truth. You are still here, whole, never truly lost. In that silence, you will realize you are not your thoughts, your emotions, or your memories. You are the one who observes all of that. And that observer, you, is always safe, steady, radiant. So give yourself a pause, a deep breath, a sky of stillness. For it is not a waste of time, it is the way home to your true self. Live in the present moment, where true life begins. There is a great paradox in modern life. We are always busy, always in a rush, always thinking we are living. But in truth, most of the time, we are absent from our own lives. We live between the past and the future, lost between what has been and what has yet to come, while the only true gift of life, the present, is constantly forgotten. In the morning, we carry the regrets of yesterday. At night, we are restless with worries about tomorrow. And so, each day passes by, yet we have never truly been present in any of them. The Buddha taught, only the present moment is real. The past is just memory. The future is only imagination. The present is the only gateway to life. This is not a poetic idea. It is the golden key to healing and awakening. When you pause, take a deep breath, and clearly recognize, I am here, you immediately return to yourself. You no longer chase what cannot be changed, nor are you trapped in what has yet to happen. You become free. Mindfulness, the practice of living fully with every breath, every step, every feeling in the now, is the most fundamental practice of a Buddhist. You don't have to climb a mountain or meditate for hours. Just when washing your hands, truly feel the water. When eating, truly taste the food. When hearing the birds, truly listen as if for the first time. And you will be surprised to find simple joy is always available. Life is not in tomorrow. Happiness is not a condition in the future. Everything can only begin in this moment, in the place where you are, whole, aware, and grateful. Understand the root of your suffering, the gateway to liberation. In the Buddhist tradition, suffering is never random. The Buddha didn't just teach us about the existence of suffering. He also gave us the key to escape it, understanding the deep causes within. Most of us only face the surface of our pain, the feelings of sadness, anger, disappointment, but rarely do we dive into the root. We just see ourselves overreacting, feeling uneasy when criticized, feeling afraid of being abandoned, and we mistakenly think these are caused by others or by circumstances. But in truth, the root lies in the unhealed wounds inside ourselves. Imagine your mind as a tree. If the roots are withered from toxins, no matter how much water you give it, the leaves will still wilt and the flowers will never bloom. Similarly, if your inner world holds childhood pain, forgotten harsh words, broken expectations that were never acknowledged, then even with positive thinking or seeking comfort from the outside, you will still feel exhausted from within. The Buddha taught, understanding is liberation. That is, when you clearly see where in your heart it hurts and why it hurts. In that very moment, the seed of freedom has already begun to sprout. You don't need someone else to heal you. It is you. When you look into your pain with the light of mindfulness and the warmth of compassion, who can untie your own knots? Listen to your heart honestly. Ask, where did this fear come from? Who made me feel I'm not good enough? Why do I keep blaming myself for a small mistake? These questions aren't for blaming, but to help you touch the deepest part of yourself, the place that needs to be held and understood. And from that place of understanding, you will no longer be the victim of suffering, but the master of your healing journey. Not through avoidance, but through wisdom. Not through rigid reason, but through unconditional love for yourself. Stop comparing yourself to others. Honor your unique journey. There is a silent but dangerous kind of suffering. It doesn't come from loss, nor from others hurting us. It comes from the very lens through which we view our lives. It is when we constantly compare ourselves to others, our lives to the ideal ones on social media, what we have versus what we haven't achieved. Comparison is a double-edged sword. It makes you feel smaller, slower, more like a failure. And the saddest part is, you don't even realize that you are denying your own unique light, the light that only you carry. The Buddha said, there is no comparison between the sun and the moon. They shine when it's their time. This universe never repeats a flower, a star, or a human soul. Each of us is a one-of-a-kind journey, with our own rhythm, our own trials, and our own beauty. When you compare, you stand outside your own life. You forget your quiet efforts, the small progress you make each day. You dismiss the scars that taught you to grow, and you lose gratitude for what you already have. The other person may be richer, more successful, more admired, but they are not you. They didn't live your childhood, they haven't carried your pain, and they are not walking the same spiritual path as you. So why use their measuring stick to judge your life? True freedom doesn't come from winning a race against others. It comes when you stop running and start walking slowly, present and peacefully on your own path. Remind yourself every day, I don't need to be like anyone else. I just need to be myself, whole, honest, and worthy. When you cherish yourself like that, the light you radiate no longer comes from competition, but from the freedom of a soul that has stopped comparing. Forgive yourself and others. Unlock the door to inner freedom. Deep within the heart, perhaps all of us have carried a wound, a hurtful word, a heart-shattering act, or worse, a betrayal that made us lose trust. We tell ourselves, "I will never forget, I will never forgive." And so we carry that anger through the years, like an invisible burden. And sometimes we don't even realize the one being punished the most is ourselves. The Buddha once said, "Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die." A simple yet piercing truth, like a sword of wisdom. Hatred, when stored for too long, doesn't harm anyone else. It burns us from within. It keeps us from living fully in the present, from loving wholeheartedly, and most of all, from being at peace. Forgiveness is not about absolving the one who hurt us. Forgiveness is an act of compassion toward ourselves. When we choose to no longer let that wound dominate our minds. When we choose to forgive, we are not weak. On the contrary, it is a sign of a heart that has grown strong enough to no longer be imprisoned by the past. And most importantly, forgiveness is not only for others. It must begin within when you learn to forgive yourself. Forgive the mistakes you've made. Forgive what you didn't know how to do better. Forgive the very human imperfections within you. When you can look at yourself with compassion, you lift half the weight off your soul. When you open your heart to let go of resentment toward others, you'll feel something miraculous. Your heart starts to grow wider, lighter, and brighter. Forgiveness is a gift that no one else can give you, except yourself. And when you offer that gift to your own being, that is the moment the true door to liberation swings open. Practice mindfulness, the art of living fully in every moment. In this hectic world, modern people are not only physically exhausted, but also broken from within. We are not tired because of too much work, but because our minds are constantly being pulled from past to future, from one thing to another, without a single moment of true rest. And so we lose the most sacred thing, our full presence in the now. The Buddha offered humanity a path that is incredibly simple yet profoundly deep: mindfulness. It is the ability to clearly know what you are doing, what you are feeling, how you are living, in even the smallest of actions. You don't need to meditate for hours to practice. Mindfulness can happen when you wash your hands, eat a meal, walk, or talk to a loved one. As long as you are fully present with a clear and non-judging mind, that is a healing moment. Imagine you wake up and instead of rushing to grab your phone, you open your eyes gently, feel the soft light creeping through the window, take a deep breath and whisper, "I am alive." When brushing your teeth, just feel the cool water, the gentle sound of the brush on your teeth, and you are already meditating in daily life. The magic of mindfulness lies not in something mystical. It lies in the moment you truly begin to live. And when you are fully present in whatever you do, your mind becomes awake, your heart becomes at peace, and fear gradually dissolves. A mindful person is one who can return to their body and mind. They no longer need to seek happiness outside, because every breath, every step becomes a miracle. They learn to cherish the ordinary with extraordinary presence. And in that simplicity, no expectations, no rush, no distractions, a calm soul is born. That is where the deepest healing begins. Treat every morning as a fresh start. Touch the opportunity of rebirth in each sunrise. Life does not usually change through grand events. It transforms quietly, through the mornings when we wake up with a new mindset, through the choice to let go of the past, even just a little, each day. Many people pass through life like a replayed recording. Today is just a continuation of yesterday, with the same sorrow, the same regret, the same unhealed wounds. We go to sleep at night with a heavy heart and wake up carrying all the same debris into a new day. And so, life becomes a loop with no exit. But the Buddha taught, each morning you wake up is an opportunity for rebirth. A simple yet liberating reminder. We don't need to die to be born again. We are born again every day, every time we decide to start over with a lighter soul. You don't need to be perfect to begin. You only need to be honest with yourself. Let the morning be a doorway where you lay down the burdens of yesterday. Let the sunlight be the message from the universe that says, you still have a chance. You still have time to love, to forgive, to heal. When you wake up, don't rush to open your phone. Open your heart first. Ask yourself, can I be a little kinder today? Can I smile at myself? Can I choose to forgive, to be grateful, to live just a little differently? With just one small answer, one small act, you have already renewed your entire being. Each day is a blank page. If you keep writing the same old lines, how can something new emerge? But if you dare to put the pen down, dare to believe you deserve a different way of living, then in that morning you have already been reborn. Live with gratitude for beginnings, for in the fragility of dawn, you can touch the most powerful truth of all, the strength to begin again.